Hi, I'm Shelley Maurer,
And I'm Cher Emmerich. Welcome to Life Lessons from Pickleball.
where we engage with pickleball players from around the world about life on and off the court.
Thanks for joining us. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Life Lessons from Pickleball. We have a real treat today. We have Ed Beazer as our guest. Ed, you started Beazer Sports, and you're the inventor of the Beazer ball.
Before we talk about what is a Beazer ball, Ed, let's start by you telling us about your professional career in the restaurant coffee shop business.
You bet. I started off in restaurants back when I was 15 years old as a dishwasher, and just worked my way up to becoming a district manager for a regional pizza chain. And then back in 1994, I got a phone call from this little coffee company that I never heard of called Starbucks Coffee. And I go, what's a Starbucks? Here I am in Utah. There was no Starbucks here, so I'd never been to one. And I did some questions. I asked them, I go, what's it all about? And they told me, I go, people are paying $5 for a cup of coffee? I go, you're crazy. And they said, they go, no, come out, fly out, and we'll show you a Starbucks. And so they flew me out to California, and I saw people lined out the door. And I went, they've got something here. I go, I'm in. And I joined them right away. I did a few interviews and everything, and they made me an offer, and I said, absolutely, I'll come work with you guys. Yeah. And then when they first hired me, they asked me to go to Atlanta, which I did. And then they made an announcement that they were going to open up Starbucks in Utah, and would any district manager like to open the market? And I said, hey, I'm from Utah, so I interviewed again, and they selected me to come back home, and I got to bring my job with me, got to bring Starbucks with me, and came back here and opened up the first 10 stores here.
Oh, that's
Wow.
brilliant.
Yeah. And it was a great experience. I mean, I learned so much from Starbucks. I mean, it was just a great company. And back then they were still fairly small. I think they had like 4,000 stores, 3,000 or 4,000, which is still huge, but nothing like they are right now. So it was still, it was still great. I got to work with different department heads and vice presidents, and I even got to go to lunch with Howard Schultz, who had the visionary behind all that, which I probably could never get a hold of him nowadays, but it was really great.
Oh,
That
that's
is so
awesome.
cool. Wow, that little tiny coffee shop, Starbucks.
Yes. Yeah, I was blown away. I go, $5 for a cup of coffee? You're crazy. But
Pretty cool to be on the ground floor like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, and then you went on to start your own coffee shop. Is that
I
right?
did. After being with Starbucks for about 8 years, I just said, when I got a little tired of working, for somebody else, and all the hours and even the travel, and so I just decided to go out on my own and started my own coffee shop here in Salt Lake, and it was called Just Add Coffee. And we had that. We opened in 2002, and had that for about 10 years, and then I left there and kind of semi-retired after that.
What fun.
Yeah.
Well, we love coffee, so we're delighted that you have that background.
Yeah.
So how did you go from coffee to pickleball? How were you introduced to pickleball, and what was going on in your life at the time?
It was actually, and I've never shared this on this kind of a platform before. I mean, people that know me know my story, but I'm actually a recovering alcoholic. And about 6 or 7 years ago, I was actually in a residential treatment center. And as part of their recreation therapy, they introduced us to pickleball. And so I'd never heard of pickleball before either. And so they showed us how to play it. They gave us paddles and balls, and it was a little awkward at first, but after doing it for a few weeks, we played like once a week, and I started picking it up, and I just said this is a lot of fun, and just got into it that way. Didn't really catch the real passion bug for it for a couple more years. So about 4 years ago, I really the bug really took hold, and I started playing all the time, like 4, 5, 6 times a week, 2, 3 hours a day. And it's been great. I mean, I got it. I'm probably in the best, physical shape that I've been in decades. I go to the doctor, and he takes my pulse, and he goes, your pulse is 60. I go, well, that's because I'm out running around every day. So it's been great. Yeah. And then
That is so cool.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted me to get into, how we came up with the Beazer or,
First, I just want to honor you for being in recovery.
thank you.
Congratulations. And it sounds like pickleball was helpful
Very
with,
helpful. There's so many aspects of pickleball that align themselves with recovery. I didn't really realize it at first till actually I started playing a lot more when I got out of recovery or out of my treatment center, and I started to realize the lessons they taught us in there align with pickleball. For example, well, first of all, to play, you've got to get out of your living environment, out of your home, and go to somewhere and play. And that gets you out of where you are. And because isolation is deadly for alcoholics. And so sitting and just isolating is horrible. So this gets you out doing something.
good point.
And then, of course, the physical aspect of it as well. That's why so many treatment centers have made it, have recreation therapy as part of their therapy. And then they teach you in recovery about mindfulness. So they try to get you so you're not dwelling on the past so much or dreading the future so much, because that's also, that mind set is just not great for someone in recovery as well. But when you're playing pickleball, as you guys know, you have to be in the moment. You're present. You're just focused on hitting that little ball and having just fun. So it's great for that aspect. And then just the community part and the connection part is huge. And that's a big part of recovery too, is building that community and building that connection. And right now I've met so many wonderful people playing this sport. And in between games, we sit and we talk and we chat. We share ideas. We share what's going on in your life, what's going on. Well, today I can walk over to my park where I play, and there'll be at least a dozen people. Hey Ed, how's it going? How's that Beazer thing going? They know what I've been up to, and they know me by name, and it's just, or where have you been? We haven't seen you for a few weeks. It's just, I feel it's this great community. I feel like I belong, and that's another thing that the people in recovery really need. They need to feel that connection. They need to feel like they belong somewhere, and that they're not just out there by themselves.
That is
And
cool. It occurs to me that AA and all should come up with, groups to get together to play pickleball.
Yeah.
It's great to share stories and all at meetings and all, but what about actually getting together on the court and playing with each other and having that adrenaline and endorphins and all that fun connection? Is that happening?
As far as I know, it's not specific for pickleball. I know they have things like sober softball leagues that are out there that get them people engaged as well. But
Yeah.
and I promote it wherever I can, whenever I do run into other, and I've done some, I still have some friends that are in recovery or work at the recovery center. In fact, I just bumped into one at the PPA was just here in Salt Lake City, and there was a guy playing pickleball. Like, hey, I know you, and he goes, yeah, yeah, and we just kind of shared stories about it. He goes, yeah, I help teach pickleball at the recovery center, and people know your story, so you need to come out and talk to us. And I said, absolutely, sign me up, and I'm just waiting to hear back where when I can go do a presentation, where I can share my story with some of the people that are still in recovery there.
yeah, because one of the other points that you had made that you haven't mentioned yet is how important the support and the reinforcement
Yeah,
is.
absolutely.
And we get so much of that on the pickleball court and from our pickleball buddies.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that's another aspect of it as well. I mean, when you're playing, as you guys know, if you make a bad shot, your teammate's gonna go, oh, that was so close, or almost. Or when you make a great shot, they go, way to go, partner, way to go. Hey, that's my partner, that's my buddy. And then they'll if you get a little out of control, they, hey, calm down, relax, we got this, we got this. So you're constantly building each other up while you're on the court and getting that instant support from your teammate, and that's another great aspect of it as well.
I actually love it. My experience is even the opponents compliment each other, right?
Exactly.
Somebody does a good shot that I miss completely. Great shot.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was 2 weeks ago. I made an ATP, and the guys on the other side stopped and clapped and go, "We're not worthy. We're not worthy."
Oh.
So you're
So
right.
for
Exactly
those who
the
don't know
same
what an
thing.
ATP is,
Oh,
tell what.
okay. Sorry. Yeah, when you hit a shot around the pole, which they abbreviated, just called ATP, and by doing that, you are out of bounds, and you're hitting the ball back inbounds on the opponent's side. And if you hit it right, it's almost unstoppable. And it's a hard shot to make. The conditions have to be just right. So it doesn't happen on a regular basis. So, like I said, when I did it, they just stopped and dropped their paddles, and I just got, I kind of was a little embarrassed, but I go, it just made me feel so, appreciative or appreciated, and made me feel a little humble that, hey, these guys, so
What a cool
yeah, it
feeling.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. I've never actually seen I've watched on videos, pros and all doing it, but I haven't been in person seeing an ATP. So I would have loved to have seen you do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean you've never seen any of mine, Sharon?
I must have had my eyes closed.
Yeah. Well, so
So,
tell
yeah.
us, all the fun you had you were having on the pickleball court, and how that evolved into Beazer Sports and the creation of the Beazer ball.
Well, I'm very competitive by nature. My family, my life partner Julie, my daughter Savannah, they'll tell you I'm really competitive. Sometimes they don't like to play games with me because I get kind of competitive. But so I did get when I got the bug about 4 years ago. I decided I wanted to get better, so I hired a coach, and he later became my business partner. And one day when we're playing, and he pulls out of his bag this little generic rubber ball about the size of a golf ball. And he goes, we're going to practice and warm up with this today. And so we started dinking with it and warming up with it. And then we transitioned back to the regular ball, and we both saw immediate improvement in my game. It helped just on the spot. It helped with my eye-hand coordination. It helped with my follow-through. It just helped every aspect of my game immediately. And so we both said, hey, we're going to make this part of our weekly routine. So that's what we did. And so every week we'd start off for like 10 minutes of warming up with it. And I had the same feeling every single week, every single time we played. And so, again, the business juices started flowing a little bit. And then all of a sudden the light bulb goes off. And I went to my business partner and I said, okay, is there a ball made specifically for pickleball, a little ball like this made specifically for pickleball? And he said, I don't think so. And so we did our internet research, and I even hired an attorney and did a patent research, and there was nothing out there not made of soft rubber like this. There were some hard plastic balls that people have been using, but not a soft rubber one like ours. And the thing about the soft rubber one, it more mimics the bounce of a pickleball. And there's more things you can do with it. You can dink with it, volley with it. And we didn't even know this until we got the final version of the ball, which took about a year and a half of prototypes coming back and forth to our house. And when we got the final version, we just said, hey, let's try playing a full court game with it. And it worked. And you can do it with serves. And whenever we do demonstrations, it always turns into a full court game. Always. Everybody they see this unique little ball and they go, hey, I got an idea. Let's try this. And we said, hey, go for it. And they have a ball with it, which was never our intent, but it's people are having fun with it. But once we decided, we did that patent research and there was nothing out there, I just jumped in with both feet. And I said, hey, Jake, how about we'll form this company? I'll put it together. I'll hire the people to help us produce it. And so I took over the business part and just jumped in with both feet. And like I mentioned, it took over a year of just prototypes. And then once we got the prototype just right, then we had to get it into production. And there were some, the first few runs of that weren't quite right. So it took a while. So bottom line is we didn't get the actual production ball that we loved until December of last year, just 9 months ago. And
so hot off the press.
And so I immediately, once we got it, I called the manufacturer and said, I want 10,000 of them. And we launched in February of this year. They got to our house and we were able to launch and went live with it. And since then I placed another order of 10,000 and I'm getting ready to place my third order for 10,000. It's just been, in the last couple of months, it's really started to catch on. So it's been great. People see the biggest challenge is that people have never seen it before because it didn't exist. And that was even when I would get frustrated during the prototype process, and I'd kind of snap at my people that were helping me design it, and they had to stop me and they go, Ed, you're making something, you're designing something, you're creating something that's never been made before, never existed before. So it's going to take some time, and we're working with you. We'll do what we can, and we'll and we finally I stuck with it, and we got the ball that we wanted, and so now we're just out there trying to get people to try it, because that's the biggest challenge. They've never seen it and never touched it. We went to a trade show, pickleball trade show in Las Vegas in June, and people would walk by and they'd see our ball and they go, "Oh, that's just another one of those little hard plastic balls." I'd stop them. I'd say, "Here, hold this paddle and now just tap the ball." And just from tapping the ball, they go, "It feels different. There's something here." And so that's been our biggest challenge, is just getting people to actually touch it and try it. And then once they do, they buy it and they see the value.
That's so cool. What color does the ball come in?
Right now, only in the same green that the pickleball is.
Oh, perfect.
So that's,
Yeah.
But we have had requests, and we, when we do future runs, we are going to get do some different colored ones. The biggest request we've gotten is for an orange one, because a lot of people that are playing on, basketball courts that have been converted into pickleball courts, the hardwood floors, they say the orange, they can see the orange better. So that'll probably be the first one we do. And then we've gotten requests for a ball that's half one color, half another, and that way people can practice their spin and see if their spin is working. So we will, as we can and as we grow, we will bring on some additional colors and introduce those as well.
Do you happen to have one that you can show us right now?
I do. Let's see. Of course I do.
For those who are watching the video, it's also just audio, but for those who are watching the video on YouTube.
There is. It's about the size of a golf ball. It's a little...
hold it right in front of you.
Yeah, hold it in front of you. Oh, it has holes in it like a pickleball.
It's just like a little...
It's hollow like a pickleball. It's got holes, but it's made out of rubber. So it actually...
It's squishy.
It's squishy. So the thing about being made out of rubber is when you hit it with your paddle, it absorbs the impact of the paddle and the ball. And that's what gives it the more controlled bounce, so you can do all those things with it. The hard plastic ones that are out there, they kind of fly off your paddle like a ping pong ball, so you have very little control. Right. But this one, it more mimics the bounce of a pickleball. But being smaller, you really have to focus, and so it just makes you really focus on hitting the ball, and it helps with your eye-hand coordination when doing it that way.
So it really helps you learn. I mean, because I'm learning how to keep my eye on the ball.
That's the biggest thing that it does.
So you have to keep your eye on that ball.
Right, because
it's so little, right?
Because it's so little and so small, you really have to keep your eye on the ball. Because that's the biggest mistake all pickleball players have. I mean, not just pickleball players, anyone in any sport where you're hitting a little ball, is you take your eye off the ball right before that impact. Just like
golf.
Like golf. I mean, I'm horrible at golf, because I get all lined up and I'm ready to swing, and all of a sudden before I hit it, I'm looking where it's going to go, and I go, whoops, I missed it, or it didn't go where I wanted it to go. Why not? But that's what this does. It helps. Consistent use of this will help you over. First of all, you'll see immediately you'll see some improvement, but then consistently using it, you'll see long-term improvement with just keeping your eye on the ball.
Well, we're going to be ordering those right now.
Yeah.
So recommending, like if you go to warm-ups before a game, we all warm up, we dink, we warm up 10, 15 minutes before we play.
Yeah, if you
warming up with that.
Yeah, if you do that, if you warm up with ours for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then you transition to the regular ball, it makes the regular ball, first of all, it looks like it's going in slow motion, because this moves a little bit faster, but it also makes the regular ball look like a beach ball. It makes it easier to see, easier to hit, and we had some guy that, when he tried this and he's transitioned to the regular ball, he goes, "Whoa, it makes it look so big. It's so easy to hit. I feel like I'm Ben Johns. I can't miss it." Just having a ball with it. I'm going, "Oh, okay." But yeah, it does. It makes it easier to hit. It's amazing. It's hard to explain. You get this wow moment when you warm up with ours and then transition back. You just see this difference. You go, "It looks so big. The regular ball looks so big." It makes it easier.
That's
easier.
Interesting. Yeah, because I've seen people maybe only once or twice warm up with what I think they were white. So like the hard plastic ones, the small ones that are hard plastic. And my first impression was, oh, that will just mess me up.
Yeah.
But
Exactly,
No.
because the hard plastic ones fly off your paddle so much, you don't have the
Yeah.
control. In fact, you can't hit it the
Okay.
same way because you have to be kind of timid with it. So
Okay.
with the hard plastic one, where this one you can hit it and
Same.
follow through with it, so it more mimics the swing of the ball as well. So it just
So I imagine it also doesn't have the same noise when you
Oh,
hit it.
yeah, exactly. I was going to talk about that. The noise. This is so quiet. I can do this in my living room, and my wife will be in the bedroom, or my partner, and she'll be in the bedroom, and she can barely hear it. And if I'm in the
Wow.
garage or in the basement, she can't hear it at all. It is so
Wow.
much quieter.
Nice.
So yeah, in fact, if you tap a regular ball and then you tap our ball, the noise difference is dramatic. It is a lot quieter.
So what it wouldn't surprise me if in fact it all evolves so that that's the ball that's used even professionally because of all the neighbors who are upset about the
Yes,
noise that we
that's
create with pickleball.
yeah, that's the biggest complaint I've heard about the sport, the game of pickleball is the noise, because
I love that sound. It just makes me feel good every time I hear
I
it,
know,
but I can
Yeah.
appreciate why people who aren't playing the game might find it a little annoying.
right, yeah, but this is a lot quieter, and you can do it, like I said, you can do it in the privacy of your own home. It doesn't because it's rubber. It doesn't make any indentation on your wall or any marks on your scuff
Yeah.
marks on your wall. Um, so yeah, you can do you can practice it so many other places. Like here in Utah, we get snow, we get in the wintertime, and I would go in my garage before I'd go play at an indoor facility, and I just sit and practice it in my garage for a few minutes before I leave. And then when I show up at the court, I'm already kind of geared up. My brain is already working and already used to hitting a ball, so I kind of can sneak up on some people. Sometimes it takes someone a game or two to warm up. I can kind of sneak up on some people that way. So it's kind of fun because I'll go, you know,
Uh, so the spelling of Beazer ball is Bzer, right?
correct. Yeah. My last name is Beazer, and when my business partner we were, what are we going to call this ball? We were talking about it, and I just jokingly said, let's just call it the Beazer ball. And he goes, yeah, but we're going to spell it Bzer. That'll look cool on a logo. And so
It
Very
that's
does.
how it
cool.
was
Yeah.
born.
And that's the logo on your shirt.
Yes.
And so how can people order it?
It's available on our website, which is bzer.net. It's also available on Amazon. And if you go to Amazon and just search Beazer Mini Pickleball, we pop up right away. And in fact, in August, we had a couple of other posts that people were doing about our ball, and we got some great traction from it. And there was a time early in August where we were one of Amazon's top 100 selling pickleball items out there. We've since dropped off a
Wow.
little bit, and we've leveled off around 150 on their list. But we cracked their top 100 for a while, and we're going, whoa, we're like 77th best-selling pickleball item, which is
Wow.
great. So we're really excited about that. We've got another gentleman, Matthew K. Pickleball. He's getting ready to do a show highlighting pickleball accessories, and we've sent him samples of our ball, and he got back to us and goes, when he airs the show, which is going to air anytime, he's been teasing that he's going to be releasing this video, and he said that he's going to feature us as in his opinion, the best pickleball accessory that you can get.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so when
Congratulations.
he
That's
told us that, we're
exciting.
going, cool, even though, so people are seeing the value of it, and they can see how the benefits of it. It just has so many different benefits to helping improve your game. And that's what I'm all
That
about. It's just help. I mean, it helped my game, and that's why we even decided to do it. I kind of think my life partner, Julie, we were having a talk about it, and when we were talking about whether or not we wanted to even pursue creating this, and she looked at me and she goes, no, okay, you've been using this generic rubber ball, right? I go, yes. She goes, and it works, right? I go, yes. She goes, then if you don't do it, if it works, someone else will eventually do it.
You bet.
And she goes, and she just goes, plus I just see how excited you get when you share your idea with other people. You've got to keep sharing this with people. Look how excited you get. Look how animated you get. You just love being able to share this. So she said, you need to do it. And so here I am at 66, off on a new adventure. So that's one of the lessons of pickleball. It's never too late. It's never too late to learn it, and it's just never too late in life to follow your dreams and pursue something like this.
What a great life lesson.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's,
And don't give
Yes.
up, because as you said, it was a journey getting to the ball that you really wanted, right? So don't give up.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
when I do talk to other people in recovery, I tell them the same thing. And I also I try to most people in the recovery centers that I was in, they're in their 20s. They're they're younger people, and I try to tell them, I go, don't wait till you're my age to admit that you've got this disease, and don't wait till you're my age to start doing something about it. You're here in this room right now. Learn from it. And I know it's easier said than done to say, learn from my mistakes, but it's hard to teach someone else to do that. But I said, if you can, please try to learn from my mistakes and don't wait till you're my age to do this.
Save yourself a lot of years and struggle.
Yes.
You have some really fun stories that we know of, particularly about a 12-year-old boy, pickleball.
Yes.
Tell us that story.
I was playing at I was thinking just this past winter, I was playing at an indoor facility where I play. And there's this young man named Jefferson. He's 12 years old. And his dad has been teach him how to play the game. And there was one and he's good. And there was this one Saturday when I went out there, and Jefferson and I just kind of got paired up with each other. And we went out and we won our first game. And so whenever we didn't want to break the winning streak, so we kept playing together and we kept winning. And I know that we were sneaking up on some players, because I know in particular these two guys that were probably around 30 years old and but more athletic than either Jefferson or I. And, they probably were thinking, oh, we have to play the old man and this kid. And we snuck up on them, and we got like 4 or 5 points up on these guys. And I watched their face, and I'm going, wait a minute, we've got a game on our hands. But it was kind of too late and we went on to win that game. And they weren't all easy games. At least one that I remember, we had to come from behind to win. And so by the end of the morning, Jefferson and I went 8-0. And he went up to his dad, and he goes, Dad, Ed and I, we went 8-0, we're undefeated today. And he was just jumping up and down. He was thrilled about it. So it was just a great day. And like I said, it was kind of like, yeah, the old man and the kid, So it was just so much fun. Yeah.
That makes a good title. The old man and the sea? No, the old man and the kid.
Exactly.
The old man and the kid, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the magic of pickleball, isn't it? That an old man and a kid can play together and have so much fun.
It is. I mean, it's such a great sport game for all ages. And like I said, yeah, here I am with the 12-year-old Jefferson. He and I were, we played we complement each other very well. I mean, so it was a lot of fun. I think the next time we saw each other, we partnered up again, and we won 2 more games before we finally lost. So,
wow, how fabulous! And we want to be watching Jefferson. Sounds like he has a future in pickleball.
Exactly. He's at least a 3.5 to a 4.0 player right now at 12.
Oh my, at 12.
At 12.
Wow.
And so yeah,
12 years old.
By the time he's 18, 19, 20, maybe he'll give, the Gabe Tardios and the Ben Johns and those guys a run for their money.
Wow. Oh my gosh, Ed, what a delight it's been to chat with you today.
Oh, you too as well.
And I'm so excited to learn about this Beazer ball, which I want to remind our audience, it's bzer.net.
Correct.
For your website.
Correct.
And also it's available on Amazon. And as soon as we get off this call, I'm going to be ordering a bunch. And
me too.
Okay.
I'm going to order my Beazer ball, right?
Eastside Tennis Center community is going to flip over it.
Great. Fantastic. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you so much for being on our show.
Oh, you very well. Thank you for inviting me to come on. It's been a pleasure.
It's been such a pleasure, and really appreciate you sharing your story. I know you've already touched so many hearts in the journey that you've been on in life, to be in recovery and then to take this time in the 60s to start a brand new adventure. And you've just been following your heart through this whole journey, and that has touched my heart, and I know it's touched people who are listening too. So thank you so much.
You've been my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Oh my gosh, get that Beazer ball. We're going to. It's going to change our game. I plan on being a 6.0 pretty soon.
There you go.
No, if I can at least be a 3, I'll be happy. Well, thank you all, and we look forward to a new conversation next week. Bye-bye.
If you love our podcast, we'd be so grateful if you'd take a few seconds to follow or subscribe to Life Lessons from Pickleball. This ensures you'll never miss an episode and helps us continue these wonderful conversations.
On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen, go to the show page and tap the follow button in the top right corner. And on YouTube, click the subscribe button under any of the episodes.
Thanks so much. Hope to see you on the court.